This video will cover the review for the topic of graphing polynomials. For the review, we are asked to relate some concepts we have covered. You may only want to focus on the first 3 questions. You may want to pause this video here so that you may attempt to answer the questions on your own. The graph of p of x is given. From the graph, can you determine the solutions of the equation of p of x is equal to 0? In other words, what x values placed in p of x will produce the y value of 0? This should make you think of x-intercepts, as they are the x values when the y is equal to 0. The solution set will be -3, 1, and 4. What are the zeros of the function p of x? Remember that zeros are the x values of the x-intercepts. So it will be -3, 1, and 4. What are the linear factors of p of x? Well, if we know how to find zeros from linear factors, we just need to work backwards. From the factor theorem, we know that if p of k is equal to 0, then x minus k is a factor. So if p of -3 is equal to 0, then x minus a -3, or x plus 3, is a factor. Similarly, we can see that x minus 1 and x minus 4 are factors of p of x as well. If p of x is divided by x minus 2, by the remainder theorem, we know that p of 2 is equal to some number that will create the point 2, some number. From the graph, you can estimate that the point would be 2, -10. So the remainder of the division of p of x by x minus 2 is going to be . For the inequality question, for p of x is greater than 0, this means that we need to find the x value for when the graph is above the x-axis. We find that to be intervals of -3 to 1, and again from 4 to infinity. For the inequality question, for p of x is less than 0, this means we need to find the x values for when the graph is below the x-axis. We find that to be the intervals of -infinity to -3, and again from 1 to 4. For the reflect, you are asked to find the zeros and to graph the polynomial p of x is equal to 2x cubed minus 5x squared minus x plus 6. If you know that x is equal to 2 is the zero of p of x. After the lecture videos, you will be able to graph the polynomial, but you should be able to determine the zeros from the previous lectures. This concludes this video.